you relate. And today I am delivering a lecture on nature of HRM, scope of HRM, and objectives and functions of HRM. So let's move on forward. First of all, let's understand what is HRM. HRM basically means human resource management. That means managing the humans who are working in the organization. So HRM is basically a function of management. It's a function in which recruitment, selection, training, development, and all these processes go on. So basically it focus on the people dimension in the organization. So a common definition will be human resource management is a management function that helps the managers to do the recruitments, to do the selections, training, development of the members in the organization. Let's move on to the core nature of HRM. The core nature of HRM includes planning for the resources, like what are the resources present in the organization, there is shortage or there is excess, and finding out new ways of hiring the people. Sometimes there is excess of people in the organization, then there is removal of the peoples. We have different terms for those things in the further HRM topics. Job analysis, finding out what are the areas which to be worked out in the job descriptions, what roles responsibilities will be there, job design, how to design different jobs for the recruitments. And recruitments is the hirings and selection of the candidates, training them, developing their skills, and measuring their performance and remunerating them, giving them rewards, motivating them, communicating all the important messages to the organization, industrial relations, maintaining good industrial relation, good union relations. These are the core nature areas of HRM. Organization, if you talk about, this is not about bricks, mortar, machineries. Organization is not a building. Organization is basically a mixture of everything. There is a building also, man, machineries, everything when put on together, that is called a organization. And in the organization, HRM principles, policies, they are being used to manage those resources. Decisions are made, and those decisions, they are integrated into the whole organization with the help of HRM. HRM also increase the effectiveness of the organization. It helps in the betterment of the services, betterments to the customers, and it helps in reduction of the cost in the long run. HRM functions are not confined to business establishment nowadays. HR functions are used in the education field, into the health field, different major big hospitals. They are using HR to manage their workforce. Education field, there are a lot of management colleges, schools, and they are also using HRM to manage everything of regarding their resources, basically the human ones. Conclusion is HRM refers to a set of programs, function, and activities, and these activities and programs and function, they are designed in such a way that they maximize both employees as well as organizational effectiveness. So the core nature of HRM will be to create such an environment where employees are also being benefited, and benefit of organization is also there. A organization can only grow when people will grow, and people will grow when organization will grow. So let's discuss about the scope of HRM. The scope of HRM basically means what is the scope, what all areas will be covered under HRM, that is called scope of HRM. The first thing I have mentioned in that is nature of HRM. Nature of HRM I have already discovered and already detailed you out in the first slide about all the recruitment, selection, training, development, job analysis, job description, all these things, they comes under the scope of HRM. So in the nature of HRM thing, you will explain about all those areas that HRM helps in planning, recruiting, developing, motivating, remunerations, employee hiring is there. With the nature of HRM, it is related employee hiring. HRM people, what they do, if there is any requirements, then they display notices, display advertisement in the newspapers, and they carry on the process of employee hiring. Remuneration means giving them rewards, giving them proper salaries, proper benefits. Finally, with those remuneration, the people will be motivated. So motivation is also there, and when people are motivated, there will be good industrial relation maintained in the organization. And good industrial relation helps in employee maintenance. Employee will remain for a long term in the organization. Good peaceful relation will there. In the long run, productivity of the employee will increase, and employee will work good for the organization. So scope of HRM will be like covering all these areas so that the organization grows in a good way. So if a question will come on the scope of HRM, you will find out you will put out all these areas: nature, employee hiring, remuneration, motivation, and explain all these things in short. And in the conclusion, you will write that HRM covers all these areas for the betterment of the organization and for the betterment of the employee as well. So let's move on forward. What are the objectives of HRM? HRM is being followed in the organization, in big organization, in small organization. According to their suitability, they follow the HRM principles and practices. So what are the objectives? What things it helps the organization to achieve? There are certain objectives which I have found out and I have discussed in this slide. The first one is the personal objective. The second one is the functional objectives. Third one is the organizational objectives, and the fourth or the major one is the societal objectives. Let's discuss all the objectives one by one. Societal objectives. As the name is suggesting, societal objectives basically it deals with what are the areas or what are the goals which the organization HR people they are able to relate to the society. Being ethically and socially responsible for the society, creating a positive impact among the society means in the organization whatever HR people they are doing in the end run in the societal objective should be achieved, like ethics and principles should be followed properly. There should be certain societal NGO programs run by organization for the society. So society should also be benefited with the organization. And nowadays, organization, the big organization, they are spending a good amount for doing the societal objectives. If a company have a good image doing good ethical practices to the outside world, definitely it will be considered a good company. For example, if you see Tata services, they have opened a cancer hospital, and a lot of hospitals are being run by different NGOs. So societal objectives is achieved in such a way. Different organization they donate like ITC classmate notebooks, they donate rupees 1 or rupees 2 to children's education. So these are the societal objectives which are to be achieved. Organizational objectives. The role of HRM in bringing organizational effectiveness is very important. HR is not an end in itself, but the meaning of HR, the role of HR should be that whatever goals, policies, programs they are making in the end, how they are working, for whom they are working for the organization to create the profits, then only the profits can be go to the society, the profits can go to the employees. If organization is at a loss, everyone will be at a loss. So organization objective is also important. Functional objectives. It reminds that HRM that it has functional value too, and importance should also be given. So functional objectives helps in, HR should not become too expensive for the organization to handle. HR is being followed in the organization, HR managers, HR plans and policies are made. So it should help in the betterment of the services in the organization. HR only should not become so expensive that, too high-fi professionals are being hired to handle the HR department. So organization, most of the profits and money is going into the HR departments to manage it. So HR should be like, it should not become too much expensive at the cost of the organization. And the personal objective is the fourth one. So personal objectives, as the name is suggesting, it will find out that it will help in achieving the employees their personal goals. Employees are working in the organization and they are very important factors for the organization. So what are their personal goals? Their remuneration, their motivation, their retainment, their perks, benefits, everything which is related to the employees. So that will come under personal objectives. If personal objectives are achieved, then organizational, societal, functional, all the objectives will also be achieved in the long run. So I have divided all the objectives and their basic function in short so that you can study and you just can remember the points in a very short way. Societal objectives will cover out the legal plans, policies, means all illegal things should be avoided and legal facts and procedures should be followed, and benefits to the society as well. A society's benefit is also important. Don't organization should also definitely promote something good for children's education, for girls education, for health objectives, and union management relationship. Societal objectives also covers union management relationship because a union is there, different people are the members of the unions. If there are chaos going on, there are fightings going on in the unions, then these things create a very negative image to the society of. That's why union management relationship should also be good. Organizational objective will cover human resource planning, means planning for the resources. Is there any shortage, is there any excess? So if there is shortage, hiring will be done. If there is excess, removal of the people will be done. That is called retrenchment. I'll discuss it in this topic about in the next lecture. Selection of the people, training and development. Nowadays new technology comes in, so training and development of individuals on a regular basis is very important. Appraisal helps to find out who are the good individuals, who are the hardworking individuals, appraising them, giving them good rewards according to that. So appraisal is very important. Who are the good people working in the organization, who are the people who need to be improved. Assessment will, after the appraisal assessment, and if there is some problems with the employees, they are not able to do good, then they will be sent for the training. So assessment basically refers to finding out what are the flaws into the performance and doing something so that the flaws can be removed. Functional objective will cover appraisal process, placement, assessment, means what are the function areas which HR will do. He will do the HR people will do the appraisal, do the placement, assessments. Personal objectives like HR department will do the appraisals to find out who are the good individuals and will do the promotions according to them. Compensation are given to the individuals. Motivation can be in the form of good salary, good perks, a trip to some good place. If an individual is working really hard, have achieved the targets in a very good way, then he or she definitely can be given bonuses, perks and rewards. And personal objectives also covers training and development, because if an individual, he or she, is lacking some specific skills, definitely training and development will help the individuals to grow up to get up more skills, and this way they are good into this